What a beautiful little oasis. I feel like it's missing something though. And that something is industry. Hello everybody and welcome back to Satisfactory. Last time we got all of this built up and we completed the first phase of the space elevator. We also got ourselves a biofuel power system in place and unlocked 2 more tiers of research in the hub. So today, what we're going to do is we are going to unlock ourselves coal power. And we are going to go out and build ourselves a coal power plant. Because as our power grid sits right now, it won't suffice for much longer. So we're going to hop in here, we're going to go into coal power, select that milestone, pop all of the ingredients in here, and launch off this rocket.
Milestone reached. Power production can now be fully automated by burning coal, which has been added to the resource scanner. Water is also necessary to run the coal-powered generator and will require a network of pipelines to be transported from a water source. To assist with locating and identifying water, Fixit has compiled this guide. Water is a somewhat reflective liquid and it may have thick vegetation growing nearby. To test if something is water, try touching it. If it is not solid and does not corrode your suit, it is probably water.
Also, off camera, I got a little bit of a setup going on here using these 2 miners that I had available to me. It's a small little factory that produces modular frames. It's not even optimized, it's just a slapped together system. Something that just kind of gets them built because we need them. Because the basic steel production, as seen here, needs the modular frames to unlock the research. I believe the foundries also need the modular frames to build them, and that is going to be my next objective after coal power. A couple of things I want to take care of before we go and start on that coal power plant is I want to go and get this slug over here. This guy right down here. There we are. Leaving that goop on the ground, okay. And with that blue power slug in hand, we're gonna go over to this crafting bench, and we are going to turn him into a power shard. And with that power shard in hand, we're going to take that over to the MAM over here, and we are going to research overclock production.
Overclocking development completed. Power shards can now be inserted into all buildings to increase input and output speed. Underclocking is also possible. Note: power consumption of overclocked buildings increases exponentially.
Yes, and ultimately that was for the underclocking more so than the overclocking. Another thing that I want to do is I want to get this Somersloop. We already have a Mercer sphere, and I happen to know that there's a Somersloop right up here. It's been overlooking the factory the whole time.
The Somersloop was named after Marie Somerville, co-founder of Fixit and head of its R&D department. There are many theories about the origin of this shape and why this symbol mathematically resembling a Mobius strip has found its way to both human and extraterrestrial culture. Thankfully, you don't need to know any of these theories to be a pioneer. Research it in the MAM to establish locally appropriate classification and application. Fun fact: the planet you are on was found and named during a planet spotting event Marie hosted named Marie's Awesome Scientific Search of the Avant-Garde Exoplanets.
Okay, now that we have all of that, we are going to go through a couple of MAM researches. First up, we're going to do some alien technology. I want to research the Somersloop and the Mercer sphere, see what she has to say about these.
Somersloop analysis completed. Somersloops are somewhere between battery and conduit, harvesting energy from pockets of space with complete disregard for the rules of the space-time continuum, and distributing it into its connected ecosystem. This energy,
let the effigies harvest until the waves reach our shores. Consume.
Similarities to the hypothetical force of dark energy to potentially be one and the same. It can now be tracked by the object scanner.
What was that? Let's do the Mercer sphere. I'm kind of scared now.
Mercer sphere analysis completed. Established local planetary signature of massage 2, AB, B, in the local Mercer sphere signals, allowing them to be tracked by the object scanner. Mercer spheres can also transmit data between specific.
Witness our scripture. Witness our windows. Have you come to defile our shrine? Sing a song.
Arguing the existence of intelligent alien life. While Fixit has figured out the method, all of the original data is still untranslatable.
I won't defile your shrine, I promise. Don't hurt me. I also went out and collected a little bit of quartz so we can do some quartz research. Alright, nothing to say about that. Let's get these blade runners, shall we? I need to make 50 silica. Don't mind me as I handcraft more crap. Okay, let's get the blade runners now that I've got that.
Blade runners unlocked. Equipped to run faster, jump with greater force, and decrease fall damage that might otherwise have lowered your value to Fixit.
The fall damage lowers my value to Fixit? Wow. And with our drop pod back, we are going to go for enhanced asset security next to get us that Xeno basher. So we'll just pop all these in here.
Milestone reached. The Xeno Basher is a direct upgrade from the Xeno Zapper. In the words of the engineer that first developed this tool, quote, "The Zapper kind of electrocutes things, the Basher straight up smacks stuff, while also electrocuting them," unquote. It is beneficial during encounters with aggressive fauna and has been tested thoroughly. The engineer's noble sacrifice for Xeno research will not be forgotten, whoever they were.
Okay, I'm just gonna quickly whip together some blade runners and a Xeno basher, and we will be on to making that coal power plant. Well, with the pod back, we shouldn't let the engines cool off too much. Let's unlock some basic steel production. Here we go.
Milestone reached. Coal and iron can be combined in the foundry to start steel production. Project part number 2, the versatile framework, can only be created via automation, not at a crafting bench. Delivering these to the space elevator is essential if we are going to complete phase 2 of project assembly and save the day. Fixit and humanity is relying on you.
Okay, we got the Xeno basher. We got the blade runners. Let's go build that coal power plant. Time to test out this Xeno basher. Oh, they're running away. Okay. I'll take that. I guess they don't want to test out the Xeno basher, huh? Okay, bye! Ooh. Paleberry.
Potential edible collected. If consumed before authorized as compatible with the human digestive system by Fixit, the consumer is responsible for any and all consequences. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Okay. So we've got our coal nodes right here. I've done a little bit of scouting, cleared out a good portion of all of this nature. Obviously not all of it, but it will go. I've already came prepared. I've got some miners in place, as well as some spare resources, although I have a feeling that this is not going to be near enough rotors, being that the coal generator takes 10, and the water extractor also takes 10. So I'm wanting to keep this relatively simple for myself. We've got a total of 4 coal nodes. They each produce 60 coal per minute with our current miner setup, and with our current level of pipe, we can maximize that at a total of 300 water per minute with Just to make it simple, 3 water extractors and 1 set to half. That will fill up a pipe completely, at least at our current level. So ultimately what my objective is to take 3 of these coal nodes, split one of them between 2 belts, and feed 6 coal power generators. Why 6? It's just an easy number for me to work with, and in future, when we get the 270 belt with steel production, we can triple the power output of our coal power plant. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this area, lay down a bit of a foundation, and get started. Ah! What the f***? Ah! Ah! Die! Die! Ah! I don't like you. I don't like you. Ah! Ah!
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. Initial data suggests these are predators, but notably they do not have a traditional mouth or eyes. There are, however, numerous cavities on their head which could fulfill a similar function. Research the remains in the MAM to establish classification and potential countermeasures.
Ooh, sulfur.
Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state, and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate fix-it helmets are of such high quality. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Okay, well, we've got a floating platform, so all I gotta do is put down some power generators, just like so. I'm gonna duplicate that on the other side, but I don't have the rotors for that just yet. So now that the power generators are down, gonna need to start mining up some of this coal, sending it over. Already went ahead and brought a power line from base over there. In the meantime, however, coal generators, well, they need water. So we're gonna bring it down this little floating platform that I built. I built it in such a way that it doesn't quite flood. So it kind of looks like it's, I don't know, a dock or something. Now, if you're OCD like me, building these water constructors perfectly can be a bit of a hassle because they don't really snap to anything. So a little trick you can do. These are currently 1 meter foundations. If you actually make them a 2 meter foundation, connect it like this, switch it back to a 1 meter foundation and connect it to the bottom of the 2 meter foundation so that it looks something like this from above, your water extractors will snap to the grid. And when I found that out, I was absolutely stun-locked with this.
That may indeed be water. Try submerging your arm. If it does not dissolve, that will narrow down the range of possibilities. Or you could just pipe it to a coal-powered generator and see what happens.
I would much rather pipe it to a coal-powered generator and see what happens. I don't want to submerge my arm and see if it dissolves. Sorry, Ada. And now, with these snapping to the grid, you can do that. And they will be perfectly spaced. Every time. Can be a bit of a hassle to delete these as well, but once you get them deleted, now you have perfectly spaced water extractors for your pipe network. I was so happy when I found that out. So with these water extractors built, I just need to pipe it up to there, and then we'll be in business.
Fix-it pipelines can contain any fluid, including the water necessary for coal-powered generators. Note: water does not flow upwards by itself. While water extractors provide some lift, to truly defy gravity, consider the use of pipeline pumps.
I will definitely consider pipeline pumps. I will probably need at least one per pipe over there. Yeah, I'll definitely need a pipeline pump to get the water up here. The pipeline pump might not be completely necessary with how fast that's moving. I guess I'll just hook these up to power first and then see how that does. Speaking of power, let's downclock that to 60 per minute. Plus the other two that do 120 per minute, that should fill up this pipeline nicely. Now, one of the methods that I love for doing pipelines is having them slightly elevated. Because what you can do is connect your pipeline like this, and then there you go, you have gravity feeding it down. And so there we go, just like that. We've got the pipes hooked up. And they are gravity fed down in a manifold-like system. But balancing pipes, it's... you don't want to do it. Ultimately, I feel like one of the best ways to do it is to just overfill the pipe 100%. That's at least what I'm doing here. I'm not gonna like that the power fluctuation is gonna come from this one, but once all of these are full, it shouldn't be a big issue. And actually, on that same note, I am actually going to go ahead and power these up right now. I just hope I have the power for this. Well, I didn't hear the power go off. Well, these are spooling up quite nicely. Looks like the pipe is filling up. Now, I'm not expecting to see any movement in that pipe because I don't have the pipeline pump put in place just yet. Much to my surprise, that pipe is actually filling up. And it is flowing to all of the machines. So I might not actually need a pipeline pump after all. And much like conveyor belt manifold systems, the pipeline here at the end is not getting any water because all of the water is draining via gravity into these other machines because that's how water physics works. So now that all of the pipes are filled up and the generators back there are slowly filling themselves up, I'm going to start figuring out the coal situation. All of these require 15 coal per minute, so there's 6 of them here. That means that I need 90. With those producing 60 per minute, I need 1.5. And with the ores all connected up, this is ready to be turned on once we turn those miners on. I have them currently both sitting at 60 ore per minute, feeding into a 120 belt, and the 120 belt all the way down to the last splitter there. Not much of a point in trying to balance the load on the belt. Let's just get these all filled up with coal so that they may run. Both the miners are all hooked up now, so all we have to do is sit back and wait. Okay, there we go. Well, I say that, and then those kick off, but that's fine. It took a while for these last two to get some coal, but they should start consistently getting some a little bit faster than the burn rate due to the fact that we're feeding it with 120 per minute rather than the 90 that this entire manifold system requires, and that is simply just to allow all of these coal generators to fill up. There we go. We are officially on coal power. Back over at the space elevator, I turned this factory back on to continue producing smart plating, as we need about 1,000 of that for phase 2. And as far as our power grid goes, our maximum consumption is 490 megawatts. The coal power plant produces 450 megawatts, but our total capacity, thanks to our biomass burner, is 810 megawatts. I will be going back over to the coal power plant and doubling up production, before we move into steel, which is our next objective. Since we already have basic steel production, all we need to do is build a foundry and start making some steel ingots for steel beams and steel pipes so that we can get advanced steel production and start making some automated wiring. And as it turns out, we can already make versatile framework, which is also something we need 1,000 of, so the sooner we get started on that, the better. I also happen to notice we have a little bit of Caterium to research, so let's get that done as well.
The metal has been named Caterium after Fixit's greatest CEO, Katerina Parks. It has been added as a viable alternative to gold in industrial applications, specifically in advanced electronics due to its superconductivity, malleability, and corrosion resistance.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna need to get a little bit more before I can unlock the ingots, so have to do that at a later point. Okay, so back at the power plant, I've duplicated everything, and we are running smoothly. It's not much to look at, but it's a power plant. For now. I'll make it look better in the future, don't you worry. And as far as our steel production goes, I think I've found the perfect little location. We've got iron over there. We've got limestone over there on the left. And just past these rocks down there, we've got coal. So I think this little plateau, little flat area, would work great for building up our steel production. Well, with our coal power up having doubled what we already built, we're sitting at a lot nicer of a number. So our next big objective is going to be getting those versatile frames. And in order to get those versatile frames, we need steel. But before we get to that, I have a couple of mission critical things that I need to do before we get there. First and foremost, we have Fix-It tickets. With those Fix-It tickets in hand, we're gonna go over to the Awesome Shop. We're gonna get the concrete wall material, concrete foundation material, we're gonna get the floor hole and the wall hole, we're gonna get the windowed walls and the door walls, and with only one ticket remaining, there's not really a whole lot we can do with that, so we're gonna go ahead and get all of those things right now.
All Fix-It vetted materials are tested for toxins, hallucinogens, and other biologically adverse effects. Pioneers are advised not to immerse themselves in these materials, and not to lick, eat, breathe in, or otherwise consume them.
What if I want to lick my concrete walls, okay? You can't tell me what to do. If I want to lick my concrete walls, I'm going to lick my concrete walls, and you can't stop me, okay? And before we end the episode, I've got one more research I want to do because I want to finish off Tier 3. So the only thing that we have left is vehicular transport. So we're going to go ahead and select that. We're going to drop all of the resources in. And I gotta run and grab just a few more. Okay, here's the last of those items. Final rocket for Tier 3, here we go.
Milestone reached. Tractors permit pioneers to move around the world in a manner similar to using legs, except with wheels and the rampant consumption of natural resources. They can also be automated to self-drive and deliver resources between truck stations, which in turn facilitate automation of loading, unloading, and refueling.
Okay, that is going to be it for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. In the next episode, we will be making our steel production facility and getting into the versatile framework and possibly even the automated wiring. So, until next time, see you then.